A lot of resellers pass by profitable items because they don't know what they are. I do not want that to be you. So I put together this video where I'm gonna give you 30 hidden gems when it comes to used clothing brands to flip online for big profits.
Hey, I'm Lee Meyer, and I'm the founder of Listing of Freedom and the Empowered Reseller. And I help clothing resellers make more money without hustling harder. Let's get started.
If you are new here, then welcome. My name is Lee Meyer, and I've made well over $100,000 as a part-time seller flipping used goods on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Most of those have been closed. And in this video, I want to share with you some of the best brands that a lot of resellers pass over because they just don't recognize them. They don't know what they are. So I'm going to be uncovering those for you in this video. If you have not yet grabbed my best brands list, this is a free list of the best brands that I source and sell on a regular basis that have led me to that $100,000 mark and beyond. And you can grab that free list down here in the description below this video. And if you're looking for an income stream that's more passive, a way to be able to make way more money in way less time, you're going to want to grab my 6-figure blueprint. This is a passive income stream without having to source, without having to list, without having to ship, without having to have inventory. You'll find that resource down here in the description below the video as well. So let's go ahead and get started. All of the brands that I'm going to be sharing with you, they're going to be a little bit harder to find. You'll come across them less often, most likely, but when you do find them, you're going to want to get them because they are high profit items that also have a fairly good sell-through rate, meaning they will turn over quickly because you do not want to be stuck with inventory that doesn't sell. Am I right? All right, let's go ahead and go get started. All right, so I'm here ready to go. One of the other things that I forgot to mention is that because these brands are a little bit more obscure, this is really good news for resellers because a lot of times thrift stores don't recognize these brands and so they don't mark them up. They're even often end up in the bins just because thrift store workers don't recognize them. They end up in the bins. You can pick them up there really cheap if that's some place that you shop. All right, number one is a brand that is called Gani. Apologize ahead of time if I screw up on how to say any of these brand names because some of them are a little bit harder to say or know how to say. So we've got a sweater here. This one sold for $48. Another sweater that sold for $38. We got a pair of pants here in used condition. Everything that I'm going to be showing you is in that used condition. These sold for $109. We got another little sweater vest here. That one sold for $40. And then this is what that tag looks like. It is big, white and black, pretty easy to spot on these. Next is a brand that's called Zadig and Voltaire. Again, apologize if I totally screwed that up. But these are $60 for these with lightning bolt on them sweaters. Here is a blazer that sold for $245, a jacket that sold for $78, pair of pants that sold for $30. And this is what the tag looks like on these, Zadig and Voltaire, and then Paris. All right, next is a brand that is called TNA. Actually, the next three brands are going to be from a larger company that's called Aritzia. And all three of these, that's the bigger company, but you'll see the labels of these next three brands, on the clothes. But a lot of times in the listing, for example, here in the title, it'll say TNA and then Aritzia. Yes, I'm saying that right. And so these are, this is one of the brands. TNA is one of the brands under that. So we've got, $33. We've got another jacket here. This one sold for $93. One of the things that I have found multiple times with this brand is are actually their knit sweaters. I just happened to pull these up that are lamb's wool. These are ones that are selling, $30 to $40 range for these. And they have a very, distinct look to them. Here's one with reindeer that sold for $40, $25, $30, that range. And then this is what the tag looks like on these. It'll just say TNA. The next brand that's under this Aritzia umbrella is Wilfred Free. And these are selling for maybe a little bit more, so $47 for this. That is a merino wool sweater there. Here's, another one that sold for $99. That's Alpaca. Good reminder to look for those premium brands. $24 a pair of pants that sold for $30. And this is what that tag looks like on the Wilfred Free items. Next is a brand called Babaton. Again, this is Aritzia under that umbrella of that larger company. But you'll see the name Babaton on there. You'll see again, Aritzia in the title of a lot of these. So make sure you use that if you list these items. We've got a cable knit sweater here, $35. Another sweater, $40. Button-up shirt for $30. What else do we got here? Skirt for $30. So probably, they're in that range unless you're looking at a bigger item like that one, may have sold for $150. I'm going to leave a link up here how you can actually go and check how much these sold for on best offers. I'll leave that video up here for you. Next is the tag before we move on to the next brand. That is what that tag for the Babaton looks like. Is kind of boxy and kind of white or off-white. Next is a brand called Cezanne or Cezanne. This one is a women's clothing brand. And for example, this one sold for $56. These are pretty, some pretty decent prices for used condition, $45, $42, $60 for a pair of pants there. That looks like they're a linen blend. And then this is what that tag looks like. So it says, Paris, and then the name of the brand right there. Next is a brand that is called Spell and the Gypsy Collective. So this is a very boho vibe brand. You'll see like a lot of these patterns are floral, loose, flowy. Those make some really good keywords. Make sure you're using keywords in your listing. I do have a poster for reference if you're looking for styles and you're like, you have a hard time coming up with those styles. That poster's there for you. So this shirt, $60. $145 for, this dress. So if you come across this brand, this is what the tag looks like on this Spell and the Gypsy. Some of the tags actually do just say Spell. So, keep your eye out for that as well. The next brand is Reformation. And these items, they're selling for, $20 to $50 range. We've got a dress here a little bit over that $70, shirt here for $40, another one for $32 there. And then this is what that Reformation tag looks like. It is, black and white. They do have some variations, but most of their tags do look like that. Next is a brand called Marine Layer. Now these are selling for right around that $30 mark, depending on, what the item is. For example, t-shirt, probably not worth picking up, but this little crew neck sweatshirt, that one sold for $28, dress for $28. We got another shirt here for $25, pair of pants for $35, skirt for $32. Here's one for $58, so that's pretty good. That looks like a corduroy shirt jacket. Marine Layer, so that is what the Marine Layer tag looks like there. Next are Rothis. If you have not come across these in shoes, these are pretty good, brand that maybe not a lot of people know about, but they do have a pretty good resale value on these. They make a lot of just kind of slip-ons, women's kind of casual style flats. And then that's what the inside looks like. These are made out of recycled plastic water bottles. And so that's kind of their claim to fame with this brand. And it does have a pretty good following. Next brand is called Doan, Doen. And this is a women's clothing brand that makes a variety of items, but they are, a little bit more of that beachy kind of look, loose flowy kind of look, not quite boho. But for example, the shirt here, this one sold for $135. This little set sold for $79. Got, another dress here that sold for $190. And this is what that Doan tag looks like. Next is a brand that's called Everlane. Might be a little bit more common brand than some of these on this list. And these are selling, some of them a little bit more on the lower end. For example, $18. We've got a sweater for $26. So just be careful with the items that you're purchasing and they're, newer styles and that they're maybe a higher value level. For example, jeans versus a t-shirt. Kind of thing. So just, for example, this is a really good example, a coat here. So $79. Coats are usually going to be, more valuable than say a t-shirt or a tank top. And we've got a little fatigue, it says organic cotton pant jumpsuit. That one sold for $30. All right, and then this is what that Everlane tag looks like if you have not seen that one before. There it is for you. Next is a brand that is called Staud, S-T-A-U-D. Hopefully I'm saying that one right. And these do sell for example, this one, $120, almost $9, almost $130. Here's a dress there that went, looks on auction for $26. It may have been a flaw with that. I'd be interested to check that out. Another dress here that sold for $75. This tic-tac-toe sweater, $50, a little leather jacket. Went for $100. And then this is what the tag in this one looks like. So it's a little bit of a smaller tag. And then there's another where the material is. It'll say the name again. Next is Lauro Piana. This is an Italian brand, and they do make a lot of cashmere items. So for example, this sweater, if you find cashmere in this brand, it is gold. This one sold for $225. Just this little fringe scarf, almost $200. Another one here for $150. We got a jacket for $550. But even if you come across, lower on the value level, for example, a t-shirt, this one sold for $25. So it's still, probably worth picking up if you're picking them up for, less than $5. Here's another one, little sweater that sold for $50. And then this is what that tag looks like here. So it does say made in Italy, and they do typically, oops, there we go. They do typically have that European sizing on them. So right there for you. All right, next is a brand called Totem or Totem. Not exactly sure how to say this one, but these are selling for quite a bit. So jeans, close to that $100 mark, like $80 to $100 range, some for a little bit over $150. We got a shirt here, probably, close to that $100 mark. Another one here for that $300 mark, which is awesome. A jacket here for $180. This is one where you're going to want to know what the tag looks like, because if you don't know if you haven't seen this before, if you haven't seen the brand, this tag is totally abstract. And that is what their tag looks like. So very kind of a geometric design, but you can kind of make out Toteme is how you spell the brand. And then they do spell it out for you here. On the material tag. So it is spelled out, right here for you. If you come across that symbol, that is this brand. Next is a brand that is called Kit and Ace. Now this brand does make items for both men and women. So for example, the pants here for women, those sold for $40. We got a shirt here for $30. It looks like it's women's. Some men's pants, these are selling for right around that $30 mark. Jacket here for $70. Now this is another really interesting tag because it's not super, it doesn't really jump out at me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It has very small font. It says Kit and then Ace, and there's this kind of symbol. Now, hang on to that symbol for a second because I'm going to show you, what this looks like on some of the other items. So it kind of has this ribbon tag to it. And then this is another t-shirt, actually. You can see how long this tag is on this t-shirt. So if you can see underneath it, it's super long tag. And then this is what that tag looks like. So it says Kit and then Ace and then that little symbol is kind of spelled out here in that grid pattern. But this is where I want to show you this one, because this one, when you look at it, it does not have that big ribbon in the neck, but there's some clues that this is the brand that it is. So if you do come across items and they don't have that big ribbon, you can know what this is, you can recognize it. So the size tag that's in the side seam, this is that same color of blue. And then over here on the side of the shirt, this is where that little symbol that I was talking about. So it's there printed on the material, kind of a rubber logo, but very small. If you see that, that is this brand. All right, next brand is Scotch and Soda. And this brand makes some kind of, vintagey inspired is what I'll call them, items. We got a Fair Isle sweater that was sold for $25. We got, some pants. Those actually look like, I was going to say pajama pants, not quite. We've got some jeans sold for 20. Here's an interesting shirt. That one sold for $60. So this is a Dutch brand. We've got a sweater here that sold for $45. Some button-up shirts here that sold for that $20 to $30 range. And then this is what this Scotch and Soda tag looks like if you find this. Next is a brand that's called Isabel Marant. I'm going to show you actually what the tag looks like because this is another one I'm not quite sure if I'm saying this correctly. Right there, Isabel Marant, and it'll say made in Italy. So this is definitely an Italian brand, a little bit fancier than what I'm kind of used to. So this, for example, this shirt here sold for $35, just kind of a basic shirt. We got another, blouse here. This one sold for $120, a sweater for $38, a dress for $49, a sweater for $50. So that's the price range that this brand is selling for. Next is a brand that is called ATM, or Anthony Thomas Malio, I believe is how you say the name of this brand. And these items are selling for right around that $30 to $40 mark. Some of these a little bit more. For example, that sweater there that went for $80. Now you're going to want to keep your eyes open for this one because this tag is a little bit harder to read. So you might just see, if you're tossing things in a bin, you're just going to see a black tag. It's really hard to kind of actually make this out, but let me zoom in on this for you. But you can kind of see here, this is black on black that we're talking about. So that's why I said, get your glasses out if you need to. Real quick, if you're looking for brands that sell fast, you're going to want to check out my guide where I go through 95 of the fastest selling brands out there to help you make those fast sales and not end up with inventory that just sits around. I'm going to leave a product card for you here. The next brand that I have for you is Mousie Vintage. Now, this is a brand that does jeans, primarily a denim wear brand. These are selling for around that $50 to $100 range. For example, $88 there. We got a pair for $49, $101. And this is what that Mousie tag looks like. Some of these say just Mousie. A lot of them will say Mousie and then Vintage. This is a Japanese brand. That is what the back of the tag on the jeans looks like, but it is a Japanese brand. The next is Frame Denim, another, denim brand. These are selling a little bit more towards the lower end. These are $25. This one here, pair that almost sold for $80. Another pair that sold for $30. We got a shirt here that sold for $32. Pair of pants are wide leg, love those. Those sold for $90. And then this is what that Frame Denim tag looks like on these. The back of the jeans is going to be pretty basic. Like there's nothing that usually stands out on these, but you can recognize it from the tag. It's also, there on the button. Next is Outdoor Voices. This is an active wear brand. You're going to want to be careful with the pieces that you source for them because some of them do sell for a little bit lower price range. But for example, the pants pair here that sold for $40. Some of the shorts, are selling for that $20 to $30 range as well. So you got a pair there that sold for $34. Another pair of a little bit more unique shorts. Those did go for $45. Sweatshirt there that sold for $28. And this is what the Outdoor Voices tag looks like. So it's not a whole lot it wouldn't jump out at me as I guess is the first time that I saw it. It didn't really jump out at me as a brand that would sell for, as much as it does. Acne Studios is the next brand. And with this is a little bit higher end brand. So for example, some of these are selling for close to that $100 mark or well over that $100 mark in some cases. Sweater here for $89, jacket for $120. We got some jeans here. Those sold for $95. Another pair there that sold for $35, $140. And with this brand, this has that black and white tag again. It seems like a common theme here for some of these are just, that basic kind of black and white tag. Next is All Saints. This is a little bit probably more well-known brand, but these, they're selling for, it depends on the item. So some of the shirts, might be more towards that $20 end, but a jacket, for example, $45. We got another sweater here for $36. Another shirt here for $45. Skirt there there for $55. So just be careful what it is that you're sourcing with these. For example, that t-shirt, only sold for 15, but we got a jacket over here that went for 90. And then the All Saints tag, this is what that looks like. It's all capital letters and looks like that. Next is We the Free. This is a Free People brand, but tends to be a little bit higher average sale price for the items. So it is a little bit hard to see here because this is pulling in some items that are Free People, not necessarily We the Free. For example, $50 for that jacket. We got another jacket here, probably around $30. Just the shirts are selling for around $20. And then this is what the tag looks like for We the Free. So it doesn't, outright say Free People, but that it is part of that same brand, We the Free. And that's that tag there for you. Next is a brand that is called Magem, M-A-J-E. And again, this is another one where you're going to want to be careful with these, which items you're sourcing. For example, this jacket here, that one only went for 15. We got a pair of pants here that went for 6. So just be careful with these, what it is that you're sourcing. Make sure that you're always looking up those comps, those comparable sales. Here's a skirt that went for 42, a coat that went for 120, pair of jeans that went for $130. And then this is what the tag looks like. So some of these are a little bit more narrow, and then they have the name of the brand over on the left side. Some of them, like in that puffer jacket that you just saw, this one has a little bit bigger tag. It's a little bit easier to read the brand there. Next is a brand that's called Sandro. And this brand, they make kind of a variety of items, but they have a little bit more of a classic pattern to them, if you will. This actually would be a really good one to use the keyword tennis core with. That kind of just jumps out at me. They didn't use a whole lot of keywords there, but that one sold for $65 for that dress. We got a shirt here that sold for $69, a pair of jeans for $50 there. And then this is what the tag looks like on this one. So another one of those black and white tags again. Next is a brand that is called Ligne, and I could be totally saying this one wrong. We got some shorts here that sold for $63, a sweater for $150, dress for $76. These are some of the prices that you'll get with this brand. This is beautiful, $110 for that one. And then there's that black and white tag again. This is what that Ligne, or however you say this name of this brand, that's what that one looks like. Next is a brand that is called Rude. This is more of a streetwear luxury brand, and these do have a little bit more luxury prices with them. So you'll see this t-shirt, that one sold for $120 for a t-shirt. Here's another t-shirt that sold for $198. Sweatshirts, are selling for hundreds of dollars. Here's another, just kind of really super, super basic. That one sold for $30. It looks like it has some flaws with it. They do make these little shorts, some pants here. Those sold for $140. And then this is what that tag looks like there. Another black and white tag, believe it or not. Futurely coming, realizing that I skipped over one of the brands. So last but not least, an activewear brand that is called Rhone, R-H-O-N-E. This has a similar price range for the sale prices as Lululemon, but it is a lesser known brand, and it's specifically for men's activewear. Now the prices for shorts are going to be in that $25-ish range, and then the shirts are going to be about $25 to $50 depending on the condition and the style. So some of the long sleeve buttoned ups, those are selling for closer to that $50 mark. For example, $47 there. We got a vest here for $60, and here's another shirt for $46. The t-shirts, those are going to be a little bit less. Here's another one that sold for, almost 50, pretty much $50 there for a button up. There's another one down here that I saw, another one for $50 that sold there as well. And then this is what that Rhone tag looks like. And again, this is a men's activewear brand. Thanks so much for watching. If you have not yet watched my 50 clothing items to sell over $50, you're gonna wanna watch that video. I'll leave a link for up here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you soon.